Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayana Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devi Saraswati Vyasam
Devi Saraswati Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Nastapayeshu Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu. Namavat Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to this Srimad Bhagavatam class. Thank you for joining. I am not qualified to speak in front of his guest Partha Prabhu and Uttama Prabhu, but I'll try to repeat what. But I seek blessing from both of you so that I can speak the words. May the right word come at the right time, which will enliven our hearts for Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. So today we will continue to study Srimad Bhagavatam from 10th canto, chapter number 23. A very beautiful chapter which talks about how we can achieve Krishna Prem. Thank you. And sometimes we are so close to Krishna, but we are so far. That's also a lesson that we can learn from this, right? And many times we get an opportunity, but we miss it. So there are many lessons that we can see from this particular chapter. So today we are going to read verses 23. We have it here? Yeah. 23 to 28, and we'll focus on verse number 26. So maybe we can start reading translation, yeah? So you would like to read?
Text 23. O ruler of men, for a long time those Brahmana ladies had heard about Krishna, their beloved, and his glories have become the constant ornaments of their ears. Indeed, their minds were always absorbed in him. Through the apertures of their eyes, they now forced him to enter within their hearts, and then they embraced him within for a long time. In this way, they finally gave up the pain of separation from him, just as sages give up the anxiety of false ego by embracing the innermost consciousness.
Jai. Thank you, bro.
Lord Krishna, who witnesses the thoughts of all creatures, understood how those ladies had abandoned all worldly hopes and come there simply to see him. Thus he addressed them as follows with a smile of grace.
Jai.
Lord Krishna said, "Welcome, O most fortunate ladies. Please sit down and make yourselves comfortable. What can I do for you? That you have come here to see me is most appropriate."
Yes, Mother.
Certainly expert personalities who can see their own true interest render unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service directly unto me, for I am most dear to the soul.
It is only by contact with the self that one's vital breath, intelligence, mind, friends, body, wife, children, wealth, and so on are dear. Therefore, what object can possibly be more dear than one's own self?
You should thus return to the sacrificial arena, because your husbands, the learned brahmanas, are householders and need your assistance to finish their respective sacrifices.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So we'll read the verse 23 now. 26, and then focus on that. Nanvadha mai kurvanti Kushala Swartha Darshinaha Ahaitukya Avyavahitam Bhaktim Atma Priyayatha. You can have one recitation. Somebody want to just recite the verse? Anyone?
Nanvadhamai kurvanti.
Nanvaddhamai kurvanti
Kushala
kushala
Swartadarshinaha
swartha darshinaha ahaitukiya vyahitam bhakti mam priyayatha. Translation purport by dear disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Certainly, expert personalities who can see their own true interest render unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service directly unto me, for I am most dear to the soul. Purport. The Supreme Lord informed the Brahmanas' wives that not only they, but all people who recognize their true self-interest take to the spiritual process of loving service to the Lord. Lord Krishna is Atma Priya, the real object of love for everyone. Although each individual has his own taste and freedom, ultimately every living being is a spiritual spark of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, everyone's primary loving attraction is constitutionally meant for Lord Krishna. Loving service to the Lord should be ahaituki, without personal motive, and avyavahita, unobstructed by mental speculation, selfish desire, or any quirk of time and circumstances. Hare Krishna. So this chapter itself is very beautiful, where Krishna is teaching us through this particular beautiful pastime that how, if we have ahaituki apratihata, unmotivated and uninterrupted service, love for Krishna, then we can achieve Him. It does not require any qualification, because here we can see the wives of Brahmana, they are like a pandit. They are so much learned and so much knowledge they have. But unfortunately, they are not able to recognize Krishna's presence there because of their knowledge. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita also, when Krishna starts speaking in Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter, he addresses Arjuna as Pandit. Because Arjuna gave so much gyan to Krishna, that if I kill these people, all this, then what will happen? Varna Shankar will happen and all that. So Krishna addresses him at that time as a Pandit. He's saying, oh, Pandit means you know so much, right? As a sarcastic way, not in saying that you know it. So similarly, when we have the knowledge, when we are think that we know so much, we really get bewildered. We don't understand Krishna as He is, right? And it's like that. We are so near, but yet so far. So Prabhupada used to always give this example that people in the West, they are so far from Krishna, but since they are moving towards Krishna, they will reach there faster. But the people in India, they are very close to Krishna. They are in India, Bharat Bhumi, right? But they are away from Krishna. I mean, they are vimukh, they are turned away from Krishna. Therefore, they may take longer time, right? So this is how it is. Here we can see that Brahmanas are ignorant and they are focused on all karma kanda activities. And they are performing the activities very nicely. They know it. They do it very beautifully. However, when Krishna comes, all of that should be given up because Krishna should be our priority, right? So here, Brahmana Patni, the wives of Brahmana, they realizes that who Krishna is because they have been meditating on Krishna for many, many years. And now when they understand that Krishna is here, he is hungry, they give up everything. They even abandon their husband, saying that, okay, whatever may happen, we are not worried about it, right? Like gopis, when Krishna called for Ras Leela, they gave up everything. Every relationship was given up by them. And therefore Krishna accepted them. So unless we give up our attachment, we cannot achieve Krishna. Through attachment, we get entangled in this world. And even when the Krishna is present in front of us, we cannot understand. We cannot understand. There are so many examples in our scriptures where Krishna is there in front of the devotees, in front of the people, giving them opportunity to liberate themselves, but they still continue to ignore Krishna's presence, thinking that he is just a normal human being. Right? In case of Mahabharata, we can see so many times Krishna gave darshan, but how many of the Kauravas understood that he is Supreme Person? So many mystic, leelas were done by Krishna, but still they couldn't recognize. The reason is that they had so much desire. They wanted to enjoy this world, enjoy the senses, and therefore they just could not understand Krishna as he is. And therefore they become his enemies. And eventually they all had to die. But here we can see that Krishna is appreciating all the Brahmana Patnis, saying that you have given up everything for me. Though they went back to their homes to continue their duties, but Krishna liberated them eventually. So here, Prabhupada's words uses in this shloka, Sukadeva Goswami uses two specific words: unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service. These are extremely important for our progress in bhakti. When we do a bhakti, initially when we come in Krishna consciousness, devotee come with various reasons. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that people come with distress, they come with some desire, they come as a duty, right? They come with a fear, they come with various reasons. Many times when we are really distressed, we come in the temple and attend Mangalarti and say, something has to happen now. I'm going to lose my job. I'm not getting my PR. My dates are getting over. There's so many reasons. It's a fear, right? Through fear we come, which is good. At least we are coming to Krishna, which is good. But it is one of the lowest level of entry point. Okay, we are starting point, something like that. Then we come to Krishna with desire. That Krishna, I want nice job. I want nice wife, husband, whatever it is. It can be anything. But we have a desire, right? Any material desire. So second level is with desire. Third level we come with duty. Saying, okay, Krishna has given me so many things. So it's my duty to at least serve him. So I will come as a duty-bound devotee and serve Krishna, which is higher than that. And the fourth level is out of love. Even if Krishna doesn't give me anything, I love him so much that he has given me so much, I am going to serve him, right? Like a mother who loves his son or a child, right? Child may not be capable of giving back anything to mother, but mother loves him unconditionally. So when we love Krishna unconditionally, means no string attached. There should not be no string. Because the moment we have a string, that means we are expecting something in return, and it is considered like a business, like a vyapar. We are saying, okay, Krishna, if you do this, I will offer 2 garlands. If you do this, I will give you so many coconuts. That's how most of the people in India do. That, if you do this, I'll do it. But here, it is very clearly, and Rupa Goswami also mentions that our bhakti should be ahaituki and apratihata. Ahaituki and apratihata. Without this, it is impossible to go back to Godhead. Right? We saw in the previous chapters where Krishna even steals the last piece of cloth from gopis. Saying, unless you have that attachment, you cannot come to me. When Gopi gave up that, Krishna said, okay, now you can come. Now in this world, we have so much desire, right? We have so much desire. Desire leads to karma. We ended up doing karma. Then karma leads to the attachment. That the fruits that we get from karma, we get attached to that. And because of that, we get bound in this world. So if you want to get liberated, this Brahmana Patni is teaching that we don't have to get attached. Now it doesn't mean that we have to give up our family. It's not like that. It is just an example that's being taught to us, saying that how we can remain in this world, yet remain detached and serve Krishna. Prabhupada always emphasized that we don't have to take a sannyas. We can continue in the family life. But by remaining detached, we can serve Krishna very nicely. In a one very Vaishnava devotee who was in Gujarat, his name is Narsi Mehta, if anybody has heard his name. He's amazing devotee. He's born about 450 years ago in Gujarat. And he had a family life. But he was attached to Krishna so much, that he continued to his family life, but he was never attached to that. His son died, he was unmoved. His daughter had a marriage, he was unmoved. Like, these are your children, Krishna, you take care. I have no money, you take care of this. And Krishna did the marriage in such a way that the whole world, whole village and everybody, they were aghast. How could this person who is such a poverty-stricken could do this? Because Krishna comes and gives. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also that if somebody surrenders to me, I carry his burden. Right? Now this is unimaginable because Krishna carries our burden. Krishna carries it. But we somehow think that we are thinking about that I have so much power, knowledge, that I can carry on my burden, I can solve my problems. But it doesn't work that way. And therefore most of the people, like these Brahmanas, are not able to surrender to Krishna. Like on this particular thing, the story comes of in Jagannath Puri, there was a devotee. I think he's got multiple stories and names and all that, but his name is Arjunacharya. So Arjunacharya was a devotee who was reading Bhagavad Gita. He was a Brahmana. He had his own Gurukul where he will teach. And by begging, he will make the living. And one day he was reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita and he came to a verse. And he came to a verse where Krishna says that Dadami. So he says, Dadami is not right. Maybe Vahami. It was Vahami. He says, Vahami aham. He said, I will carry things for my devotees. So he said, maybe this is not right. Why would Krishna carry? So he strikes two lines and says, it should be Dadami. And then he writes Dadami there. He said, Krishna can give. But, Vahami was there. But he says Dadami. Dadami means give, Vahami means carry. In Bhagavad Gita. So that's what he says. So he says this is not right. He cannot carry, like he cannot Vahami. So he put a cross and then he says, okay, it should be Dadami. And then his wife says, can you bring something? We have nothing to cook. Can you bring something from our, bake some alms and bring it? He goes out and he goes to a few places but doesn't get any. Meanwhile, two boys comes to Brahmana's home. They knock the door and they say, okay, who are you? Oh, we have sent by your husband. We study in Gurukul, but today he sent us to do this service. So we have brought some groceries and all that. So bring more milk, ghee, so many groceries, fruits, veggies, everything is, two big full baskets of fruits comes. And is given to him. Brahman, he says, oh, so much. And then she puts them into, say, put it here. And she sees that one of the boy, who was like little bluish, his back had two marks. She says, what is that? What happened to you? Why did you get hurt? He says, no, I was not studying well, so your husband beat me. He said, my husband? No, he's very sober. He doesn't treat the Gurukul children like this. He said, no, he did this to me. Then she was really upset that why my husband did like this to a small child. And she thanks them, the boys goes away. And after some time, the Brahmana comes and the Brahmana Patni has, she has made all the preparation because the grocery was already there. So now he's asking, who brought all these things? And you even made the prasadam? He says, yes, where were you? So it took you so long? You only sent those two boys with these groceries. So they prepared all this, so I prepared that. He said, no, I never sent anybody. No, you sent them, and you also beat one of the boy with sticks. I saw the scar on his back. He says, what scars? No, I saw 2 scars on his back. He said, no, that's not possible. I don't beat anyone. He said, no, it is like that. Then suddenly he remembered that, there's something which I was reading in Bhagavad Gita, and strike those words, Vahami, with 2 lines. He immediately goes there and sees those lines are gone. And then he cries. Because Krishna personally came to deliver. So look at this, that if you have unmotivated, uninterrupted service to Krishna, Krishna will take care of our burden. Krishna will take care of our responsibility. We are worried so much for everything. Everything. Why? Because we have certain desire that I want this. I want to live here. So I want PR. That means if that is work permit getting over, we are getting anxious. No, whichever condition Krishna gives, we should just live there. Because Krishna is going to put us in a situation, in a place which is favorable for us to do bhakti. It's always like that. If we see the hand of Krishna in anything that's happening in this world, especially in our own life, then there is no problem. Right? We only see Krishna's hand when things are favorable to us. That means it's happening to our will. But Krishna's plans are much bigger and much better than what we are thinking. Therefore, we should trust Krishna's plan and say, okay, Krishna is doing this for me. Maybe this is my past bad karma that I have done and that I am suffering because of that. That's perfectly all right. And just continue. And then the phase will go away. Right? But we always want our life to be lived in our own terms. We want to live life in our own terms. And because of that, we keep doing karma. And because of karma, we get entangled. But here, very clearly, Sukadeva Goswami is using the specific word that render unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service directly. Not even through somebody else, no. Directly to Krishna. Right? So, unless we develop this love for Krishna, where we want to serve Krishna directly. Serving Krishna directly means we can serve through Guru. Right? We don't have a qualification to serve Krishna directly, but Krishna loves if we serve through devotees. That's why we say Dasa Dasa Anudas. We want to serve the servant of the servant of the servant and become like that. The lower we go, the higher we rise. Lower we go, the higher we rise. Right? So, and Prabhupada's disciples write in the purport, and many of these they take it from the Krishna book, because Prabhupada already translated the Krishna book earlier, and then a devotee took this as a reference point to put this into purport. So Prabhupada writes that, very beautiful point is here, everyone's primary loving attraction is constitutionally meant for Lord Krishna. So our primary attraction should be with Krishna. But where is our attraction? In this world. We are getting so many things in this world. With the beauty, with the wealth, with the knowledge, we get attracted in this world. And we don't want to get out of this world also. Even if the problem comes in life, we think, I will solve it myself. Maybe the sun will come and the darkness will go away. But this ignorance of darkness can only go away if we take to Krishna consciousness. Only then the darkness will go away. And that is the only way we can go back to Him. Here, Prabhupada writes, the disciple writes here, that how our bhakti get obstructed. He says that mental speculation. We keep speculating so many things. Then selfish desire. Selfish desire. Like I want to enjoy. I want to do this. But if you see the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapsam. He says, I am the Bhokta, nobody else. And that is the Prabhupada calls this as a peace formula. If we consider that Krishna is a Bhokta, not me, then there will be peace in this world. We see what's going around in this world today. Right? So many wars, everybody is fighting with one another, trying to kill one another, right? For what? Because I want to be the powerful. I want to be considered the most powerful. I will dominate this world. The world should work as per my terms. And if anybody is not obeying me, I'll destroy that country. That's what the condition is today. And here, if you see that Krishna is very clearly, that means Prabhupada used to say, if this world become Krishna conscious, there'll be complete peace in this world. But, today only Nityananda Prabhu was revealing the score of how many Chaitanya Charitamrita have been sold, like 44, which is like double than the target that we had. Which is so good, because the more we give this transcendental literature to the masses, the more they will take to the Krishna consciousness. Slowly but definitely they will come to this path. Because they have at least held those books in their hand. They've opened the book, they've seen the pictures. Because even by looking at this text, somewhere in this lifetime or some other lifetime, they will become Krishna conscious. That's the potency of this literature. These are not ordinary books. Because, paper is same, the ink is same, it looks black and white, all good, but these are transcendental literature. They should not be considered like a normal books that we see. So, therefore we should do more and more Sankirtan, means distributing more and more literature so that we can bring peace in this world. In fact, when we talk to our families back, in India, and so we were in Vancouver, we were here, and then we say we just went to the temple and we get prasadam, very nicely. And they say, you are such a lucky people that you can go and eat anywhere. I say, we don't eat in restaurant, but when we go to the temple, we get prasadam. Because we just call them and say, hey, we are Hare Krishna devotees, can you keep some prasadam? And we get that. So Krishna is, because Prabhupada established this movement 55 years ago, now it is, we can see that we are feeling the fruits of that. So similarly, as it is our duty to spread this Krishna conscious movement further, that means by bringing more and more devotees, right? By distributing books, by distributing prasadam, by bringing new youth into Bhakti Academy that you have. Like, when I came here first in last January 2025, and first time we came to the temple, and we saw this youth, so many youth dancing in the morning, Aarti, we were like amazed. We were speaking to each other. Say, wow, this is so amazing. We have never seen such large youth in the morning, dancing, singing glories of Krishna and Prabhupada. It's so amazing. It was very, very pleasing to our eyes. And we were appreciating the effort that this temple has taken and the movement of Srila Prabhupada. Because bringing youth is a very big endeavor. It's not easy to bring youth in this movement. But we saw that it was so beautiful. So, yes, we need to continue to do this. While we do this, we also need to continue to bring more and more devotees into this, right? And by that, Krishna says that you become very dear to me. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that anyone who shares this knowledge with others will be very dear to me. And therefore, we should spread this movement far and wide, right? Now, other point which is mentioned is a quirk of time and circumstances. Many times we work on impulses. Something is, not working. Immediately we become angry. Immediately we do something, right? We want to do, like we are trying to kind of band-aid kind of an approach. Okay, we have a big wound, but we are trying to say, okay, let me apply this band-aid. That will not work. It might worsen the situation. So here, many times we... So there was a question asked to our Guru Maharaj. He says, Maharaj, how do we avoid temptation? How do you avoid temptation? Guru Maharaj says that don't go in front of the temptation. Things which are tempting to you. For example, somebody is a diabetic. They shouldn't be entering the sweet shop. Because the moment we enter, we are going to see variety of sweets. And we picking something up, right? And then it's going to create problem for our health. In fact, there's a beautiful lecture by our Guru Maharaj where he says that Maya will latch on the doorbell. Maya will latch on the doorbell until you open the door. So it means that it will come so strong It will come so strong that you will end up giving in. And therefore, we should not think that I am very strong, very powerful, nothing will happen to me, and go in front of this temptation and all that. That is what work of time and circumstances. We'll get sucked into that. We'll get sucked into that. In fact, yesterday, Dr. PRABHU, who runs this Barsana eye camp in Barsana, he sent one video. He was talking about how Jewish people, they upbring their children. So Jewish people, they say that, there's a video by a philosopher, he says that when they want something, for example, I want a phone, for example, right? I have a desire to get a phone. Yes. I will not buy it immediately as soon as I want it. I will let it be there for 3 days, at least, minimum 3 days. The first day I'm contemplating, yes, I need it, I'm pushing myself. Second day it comes saying, do I really need it? Like we start, yeah, I need it, something like that. Third day, we come and say, I don't think it's worth so much spending money. And then fourth day, you just don't buy it. So the Jews have become, he was mentioning, the Jews have become wealthy just by inculcating this habit into their children. They just don't spend unnecessarily. They don't spend unnecessarily. Most of the people, they come to this quirk of time and circumstances. We fall to that. As soon as we see a sale, Black Friday, immediately we want to go and get something, right? But that should not be the case. We should be thinking that, I also spoke about this in one of the class. What would Krishna do? What would Guru Maharaj do? Something like that, right? So what we should do is always in a situation which is tempting, which is disturbing to us, that what should I do? If you are confused, then immediately think about that. What would my Guru Maharaj do? What will Srila Prabhupada do in this situation? And as soon as we come to know about that, we should say, Prabhupada wouldn't say this. Prabhupada wouldn't do this. So let me also not do that. Because we are following of Srila Prabhupada ji. So we should just do what Prabhupada taught us. Prabhupada told us. That's what we should do. And therefore, whenever tempting situation comes in front of us, whenever situation comes where we have to speak something unpleasing, we feel like, we get angry, agitated, and we should just avoid it. Because our relationship with devotees is more important than managing a situation with anger or something like that, right? Yesterday also I was talking to, one youth, she had a problem. So she was talking that, I get very angry, in a moment. And then I really feel that I should not have done that, right? So, and it happens many times. Like, just like, for example, she was talking that when I going on a highway and I miss an exit, sometimes you're going to miss an exit and you have to go and take a long detour. So I cursed myself, what did I do? I said, she started blaming herself. I said, no, you should not do that. It has happened, yes. Next time be careful, but don't have to blame yourself for all these things. Also, learn from the mistake that you have made. When you learn from the mistake you made and say, okay, next time I will avoid it, I will not repeat it, that's a consciousness we should try to bring in, right? And hearing more about, she chants, but she reads and hears little less. So I told her to read, not just chanting, but also hear and also read. Reading Srila Prabhupada's purports is very important. Therefore, we should inculcate a habit of reading Srila Prabhupada's books every day. Every day. Even if for 15 minutes, no problem with that. Even if you read for 15 minutes, it has a very profound and deep impact on our consciousness. Because these are divine words. These are not normal English that we are reading. If we read this, we will definitely find our solutions. Like, Gandhi used to say, Gandhiji will always say that whenever I see a problem in this world, I open Bhagavad Gita and I find my answers there. So it's confirmation that, whenever we have some problems in our life, we should pick up the scripture and we will find an answer. Many times, even there are some thoughts in my mind, I have seen it myself, that why this problem is bothering me. And believe me, I'll find some lecture on that. I'm just looking at YouTube and I'll find some YouTube lecture will come which will be giving me a solution to that problem. So it is really, if we really surrender to Krishna, Krishna will show us a way to solve that problem. Krishna will guide us. Because Krishna is sitting in our heart as Paramatma. He is there all the time. Always is there. But we have to hear the voice that comes from inside. Right? So here, Brahmana Patnis, we can see that they were able to recognize Krishna as Bhagavan, and they went to him without any motivation. They did not have any motive. They just wanted to serve Krishna. Krishna came saying that we are hungry. We need some food. That's all they asked for, nothing else. But Brahmana kept on sticking to their rituals, saying that no, this is for yajna, we cannot offer it, this is bhoga. So we cannot give it to you. Now this is the condition of the conditioned souls in this world, that when Krishna personally comes, we are not able to recognize him. And unfortunately, we end up serving the people of this world instead of Krishna. Right? So these are the few lessons that we can learn from this. And here, one important point which is mentioned also is here. Each individual has his own taste and freedom. Ultimately, everything being is a spiritual spark of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, we have our own taste and freedom. We can choose. Krishna, even after speaking the entire Bhagavad Gita, he says, Krishna tells Arjuna, you do what you, I just told you, I will give you this knowledge, but it's up to you to decide what you want to do. And then finally he comes and says, okay, Karishye Vachanam Tava. He said, I'll do what you say. So we have our own free will. We have our freedom. How we use it will decide our destiny. Krishna doesn't intervene on our decision process. He says, okay, you continue what you want. But Krishna will always guide. Like in a Upanishad, there's an example given by two birds sitting on the same branch. Right? One bird is sitting away from the other bird and enjoying the fruits of the branch. Other bird is just observing. So that other bird who is observing is Paramatma, sitting in our heart. And the bird which is enjoying the fruits is our soul, as we are. So we are away from Krishna, though Krishna is the closest in this to us. But when somebody asks, who is the closest to you? Oh, my wife, my father, my children, right? That's what the answer is most of the time. Oh, my dog, maybe. Sometimes it is like that. So, Krishna is the closest to us, all of us. And he is there, continuously guiding us. But we are to be receptive. We have to be receptive to listen to him, his guidance. And then Krishna is always wanting us to walk on the path of spirituality. Because Krishna wants all of us to go back to God. Like in a Brihad Bhagavatamrita, there are two stories are there. One story is of Gopakumar in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, right? Where Gopakumar comes back to Krishna in Goloka. Krishna embraces him and cries and says, why it took you so long to come to me? So Krishna is waiting with open arms to welcome us in the Golok Vrindavan. But we are attached in this world so much that we are not ready to go. But if we decide that, okay, if we are going to cut all the knots of this world, then definitely Krishna is welcoming us. Brahmana Patni just did that they did not worry about what Brahmanas will do once they go. Will they be taken back as in their life, or they may not? They may reject. Like all the gopis, they completely surrendered to Krishna. When Krishna was playing the flute and calling gopis for the Rasa Leela, Gopi did not care about anything. Right? So, if we continue to get... Yeah, so if we continue to remain attached in this world, that means we are not doing anything which is unobstructed. We will get entangled by this world's relationship. It is guarantee. There are so many, in fact, devotees who have went away from this process. Very unfortunate thing to happen because of attachment to this worldly matter. It could be family, it could be, position, it could be anything, and that causes a problem. So therefore, we have to develop ahaituki and apratiyata, that is unmotivated, personally unmotivated, and no obstructions. If we do this, then we can Krishna Prapti, easily we can get that. So that is what these Brahmana Patnis are teaching us, right? So that's what is being spoken in this particular beautiful chapter that been narrated by Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. In fact, Parikshit Maharaj had a question that what should a dying person do? What is the duty of a dying person? That's where the whole Bhagavatam was spoken. So we should learn from Srimad Bhagavatam what is being taught to us through these stories and implement those learnings in our life. One is to read, which is Nityam Bhagava Sevaya, which is must. Second is understanding, means scrutinizingly study and understanding these themes. And then third is implementing. So as we grow in this, it is hard, becomes harder. But in association of devotees, like every day we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we are trying to study, go deeper, and then we can implement whatever learning, teachings that are there in this chapter, in these books, and that makes us life very beautiful, right? So I'll pause here and see if Partha Prabhu or Uttama Prabhu had to add anything to what I say, Mate. Hare Krishna.
Just briefly in the past time how there ended up being some transformation in the Brahmins after they saw their wives complete surrender to Krishna.
Yeah.
And they had this change of heart and realized how they'd missed the mark. And they were cursing themselves in the Brahminical culture. And it's actually described that they also said that they accepted their wives as their guru. So they had some transformation because of their wife's devotion. It just reminded me, often, sometimes we'll meet, not that often, but occasionally you meet someone who's coming to Krishna consciousness or even been in Krishna consciousness for a long time, and their wife or husband is not at all. And I've heard different stories. I remember one example was this man who was, he'd been chanting for like 50 years. He was what you would call a closet devotee, a very favorable, nice gentleman. But he told me that his wife, when he became interested, she said, well, this is for you, I respect that, but she says, I'm not going to get involved, I'm not going to chant Hare Krishna. So, and he said sometimes he would come home and he'd walk in the house and his wife would be downstairs, and he said he could hear her chanting Hare Krishna. So she was affected by it somehow. So you never know how that will manifest. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for your class, and my question is, if I have a very strong materialistic desire and I'm trying to let go of the desire but keep coming back again, and I'm praying, Krishna, I want to surrender you, but this thing just comes again and again. What should I do to surrender to Krishna but don't get bothered by this, if that makes sense?
Yeah. So this is the problem most of us are facing this problem. So you are not an exception. I also have the same problem. Absolutely. But yeah, so I think when we have a desire, we have to first see, is it for ourselves, right? Normally it is, most of the time it is for us. Assume it is for us, right? Or we want to have. Yeah. Then I would seek help from senior devotees. That's what I personally do, and tell them what should I do. And normally the guidance which is given to me, what I have seen is that if desire is not very unfavorable for Krishna consciousness, like you feel like I want to eat pizza, I mean, strong desire, right? If it's prasad, you can go ahead and eat it, no problem. Don't suppress it, no, pizza is unhealthy, all that. It's okay. Once in a while, it's fine to have that. So if the desire is not unfavorable for Krishna consciousness, right, then we can, instead of suppressing, we can just fulfill it. So at least mind is specified, okay. But at the same time, as I said, we should definitely validate the desire. Is it really helping me in becoming Krishna conscious? Our ultimate goal is to become Krishna conscious, right? We are all the devotees in making. We call devotee, but actually I am considering myself as a devotee in making. I'm not yet a devotee. And therefore, if we have the end goal in mind, then I will try to avoid any temptation that may come in my way. Like when Hanumanji went from India to Lanka, he flew. He was given, Mainak Parvat came in between and said, why don't you take some rest, drink some water, take some rest, it's nice, place. He did not, because he was in the service of Lord Ramachandra, and his mission was to find Mother Sita. So he did not give in to the temptation that came in form of Mainak. So Hanumanji is teaching us that we have to always keep an eye on our end goal. And anything which comes in between, it is like not important, especially this temptation. So by keeping eye on the end goal and say, I want to achieve this, slowly those temptations could go away. Even the desires go away. I have seen it. It happens. So many times we have very strong, I want it, I want it, I want it. But then we have to, normally, what I do in my life is that I put something called SWOT. SWOT analysis, you heard about it? Like strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. So I put that into that 4 quadrant and see whether this is going to help me or not. So like that we can think of this. And the desires slowly, either we go away from there or we end up doing something which is Krishna conscious way. And then the desire will not be bothering us anymore. But I will definitely seek advice from senior devotees, my Guru Maharaj, and say, help me, this is a big problem. And I think on that day, one of the class which was mentioned, right, that we have to very open to our Guru, that this is a problem. Like when you go to the doctor, if we have a, problem in our back, we have to show it to him. He cannot just treat it without seeing it. So we have to tell our problem, and then Guru can give guidance. But this is what I can, my little understanding, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll pause here. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for the opportunity. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpataru